welcome to episode 94 of the Zeens and Roger Crochet Vlogcast. Hello, how are you? Are you alright? That's become some sort of catchphrase, has it? Maybe? I am Rosina, I am a crochet designer and I live in the southwest of the UK. And all is well, I think. I do not know my up from my down, my arse from my elbow. It's been a bit frantic and a bit chaotic, but I thought actually I've got a quiet zone right now going on, and I thought it would be the ideal time to sit down with a cup of tea and record a podcast. Maybe I'll watch one as well at some point. I'm just looking for some thread actually, because I thought while I was here I could also sew my trousers back together, but I can't find my thread. It's usually in my little notions pouch thing, but then I take it out to use it and don't put it back. Or it just becomes severely unravelled and then gets quite a zip, so I throw it away or something. I've got various bits and bobs to talk about, various bits and bobs, and it's all very exciting, but I haven't actually organised anything, so you'll find me looking down in my corner. My stash and my whips are all shoved down here, and they're kind of reaching across over to the cabinet and encroaching upon shelves and cupboards, and there's some bits on the sofa down here as well, including the trousers I want to fix. I do have another, I wonder if I've got more in here. This is what I'm after. I've got things like snappers and whatnot in there. Just additional bits and bobs that I use, reach for every now and again. Right, where to start? I can't remember the last time I did a podcast. It was a few weeks ago now, and I knew that I wouldn't have much time on the horizon to actually do a podcast and also talk about anything I was working on, because I'm working on a commission at the moment. No surprises there, I've often got one on the go, but after that I think I'm commission free, but I want to focus on my own projects. How many times have you heard me say that? But I thought I'd just do a show and tell, go through all the crochet things that I've been working on, and I do have a kind of rudimentary list of the things I'd like to include, but also I dare say it's been added to because I probably want to talk about half-term week, because it's been a busy old time. Yesterday was a really weird one. We were in London in the morning, in the afternoon, sat at Waterloo Station just after lunch. In the end, I was just sat on the floor of Waterloo Station. It's usually quite hustling and bustling, a lot of movement, but it was just ram-packed with loads of people waiting, because there'd been loads of interruptions on the train lines because of weather conditions. We did manage to get on a train, and you know that feeling where you can kind of just relax and go, that's it now. A nice, almost 4-hour journey home. I can just kick back and relax. Well, halfway through, they just went, terminated, it's terminated, get off. And it was a bit of a surprise, and especially because you're kind of in that warm fug of just half switched offness. I was crocheting at the time. And then they made us wait out in the cold for an hour while they decided what to do with us, because they didn't know. And then, lots of jiggery-pokery later, and we got on another train in the end. They were putting people in taxis for 3-hour rides to finish off their journeys home and stuff like that. It was ridiculous. But then they ran out of taxis, and then they did find a replacement bus, but we weren't allowed on the bus because the driver needed a break. But then, whilst that was going on, in the end, I think they found us another train. And then when we got off at Honiton, 2 hours later, eventually, it was around that time that actually 2 hours behind us, where we'd been fannied about with, there's been a crash on the line. It was on the news last night and this morning. But thankfully, it seems that everybody is okay, because it was at low speed. but it was just a bit like, Christ, like we never get the train, and the day we get the train, on that line just behind us, there's flipping crash. I mean, it was chaos, absolute chaos. So that was the end of our half-term week, but I mean, it feels like we've been away for a million years. It's one of those ones where you do so much. I wasn't going to talk about this. I was going to either save it to the end or forget. If I remember, I'll tell you more about the other bits we did in half-term. I'll tell you why I was in London. That can kick off the chat, can't it? One of the things we did before getting the train home, I've lost my hook, there it is, was, I've lost the business card that I had. Apologies, I'll chill out in a minute and I'll get into the chat flow. So Peter and I went to London on Saturday to go to Shepherd's Bush at the exhibition London to see a guy called Paul Kalkbrenner, who is a German music producer of like dance music. So we went there for a night of dancing. It was really good. Enjoyed it thoroughly, but wow. After 18 months of isolation, effectively, and having to social distance and not being great big crowds, this venue was at full capacity and it was rammed. And it's such a bizarre experience to go from that to, to go from one extreme to the other. And so actually when people are kind of bumping into you and you're being jostled all the time because people are dancing and you're trying to dance as well, it's really bizarre. And I don't think I liked that aspect of it, and actually it knocked a few points off my score for the evening if I were to score it. But the location of that happened to be, and our hotel, happened to be about 4 minutes away from Goldhawk Road. Do you know Goldhawk Road? Goldhawk Road. I've been there once before, maybe 5-6 years ago, I can't remember now. And it is basically a street in Shepherd's Bush that is shop after shop after shop of fabric. And it is a destination for any fabric lover. It's the place to go if you are into sewing and whatnot. I didn't buy very much, but I just bought some like plain polycottons just for lining if I make project bags or whatever, either sewn project bags or crochet ones, then I can line my bags with just some plain coloured polycotton. But it's quite cheap. Not all the fabrics are cheap. I mean, most of them are, they're sort of fairly standard, but I think it is acceptable to haggle if you want to. But my problem is I don't have any time to do any sewing, and I'm not good enough to do any of the sewing that I have in my head. The fabric I saw, that would make a beautiful dress, like shift 1960s style thing. Have I got the skills to make that? I could develop them, but I'm not there yet. Or I would really like to make a pair of just sweatpants, joggers. They had some beautiful fabrics I saw, but it was £15 a metre, and I wasn't sure how much I needed or whether or not they would look any good once I'd made them, so I left it. I was being sensible. So yeah, if you are ever in London, get yourself to Shepherd's Bush, or well, you can get the tube directly to Goldhawk Road, but Shepherd's Bush is also only like a 7-minute walk away. So we did that, and then we went out, and then yesterday morning, before we got our train home, I was just like, can I go to Loop? Is it alright if we go on the other side of London? Go to Loop. Oh God, this was only meant to be a 30-minute podcast, but already I've been talking about nothing I've worked on for 11 minutes, 35 seconds, 36, 37. So we went to Loop yesterday, and a beautiful, beautiful yarn shop in Islington, I think it is. and you have to get the you have to go to the Angel tube station, and then it's just up the road. What a beautiful yarn shop. Really, really beautiful yarns. I kind of knew I wasn't going to buy anything when I went in. I wanted a souvenir crochet hook. That's what I was after. That's what I decided to purchase. But they actually only had like ones you can just buy from Amazon. I thought they might have a special crochet hook. But I was pointed in the direction of, yeah, the tulip Etimo things. And but I did actually buy some crochet hooks. I'll show you them. But they were just kind of like standard ones, really. I thought that maybe they would have some wooden hand-carved ones or something, but they'd sold out a long time ago and not got any more in, unfortunately. And I asked them if they had Morit in stock, but they didn't. They didn't have any copies of Morit. But I sent them a message when I was on the train on the way home. I was like, And then they said they didn't have any. Does that mean they've sold out, or they just didn't have any? In which case, why not? So I sent them a message on Instagram, and then they said they were going to get some copies of Morit in, so that's good news. Then, because I'm going to a yarn festival next week, it's Stitch Fest Southwest at Newton Abbot Racecourse, if you're nearby. Yeah, because I'm going to a yarn festival, I thought, actually, do you know what? Don't buy any yarn here. Spend all your money next week at the yarn festival. So I actually only bought one ball. And I bought this, so it's falling apart now. I'm working from the inside out, but do you know what? I think that's a big old mistake. But literally, I rushed it because I was sat on the floor at Waterloo Station, and I thought, well, if I'm going to have to wait here for 2 hours, then better do some crochet. So I started making a hat. So this is I don't actually know what it's called. It's is it Schwoll Ball? Sorry, I don't know whether I don't have the labels. Sorry. I think it's I'm gonna go to my yarn palace. Hang on. I think it's probably SCHWOLLE. And then there's another word. But I don't know if it's ball or wool or what. And I always say my yarn palace is a bit of a mess, so who knows if I got that right. Don't know. So I'm making a hat with a 3mm crochet hook from Ricoh. This is a Ricoh crochet hook, and this is what I bought at Loop in London. It is knitting centric, is Loop. I will say that. They do have some crochet samples by one designer, but I don't know, I can't remember the name of the woman. I've never heard of her before, and it's very, I don't want to offend anyone, but it's a very knitterly idea of what crochet should be rather than actual crochet. I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but there's a set. I have seen on Loop's Instagram page lots of different samples of crochet before, so they're not inclusive, but they've got a very particular idea about what crochet is, and I think it comes from a knitterly perspective. I hope that makes sense. So I bought some neon hooks. I'm going to hide my face. I don't know if you can see those. Just plastic handled hooks. I'm finding it very comfortable to use, and I like them because they're fun colours and stuff. And it goes up to, so they're not big, they're small, I think from a 1.5mm through to a 4.5. I don't know if I've got them all here actually. I think 4.5 was the largest one, so they're on the smallest side of the hooks. And I was thinking actually that I might treat myself to a set of chunkier hooks and I saw some from Tribe Yarns because I'd been to Loop, which is a shop in London. The other shop I know in London I've never been to, not yet, is Tribe Yarns. I think it's in Richmond. But I was told yesterday by Dora Explored that there are a couple of other ones in London that she would like to go to. So it seems to me that I need to do another pilgrimage to London to go to these yarn shops. But because I was looking at Loop on Insta last night on the train, I also started looking at Tribe, and they've got some crochet hooks that I would quite like to get as well. And there's a set of 10 hooks, so I see, but they go up to the other end of the spectrum, so 15mm, so all the big hooks, but they're completely different to these. I dare say that if I just gave myself a few more hours, this hat would be done quite quickly. I am using a 3mm hook. This yarn, I think it's a sock yarn, and it is a wool mix with some biodegradable polyamide or something. Biodegradable somebody. It was kind of a bit of a weird, like, how can that be biodegradable, because that sounds plastic, one of those, but apparently it is. Coming to you with all the facts. It's just, yeah, a hat. I'm following my own nose with this one a little bit, but having had some hat experience recently, I'm kind of adapting one I've just written recently, which is out being tested at the minute. Segue. I have 2 hat patterns because one is not enough. Recently, the guys at John Arbon sent me some Devonia. This is a little label from one of their 25 gram minis. I don't know if you saw that or if it was just a blurry rectangle. But I saw a picture on their Instagram feed and I commented saying it was beautiful. It was a little selection of lots of twisted minis, and the colour combination of all of them looked terrific. It looked beautiful, so I said as much. And then Sonia from John Arbon went, "Shall I send you some?" And I was like, "Oh, thank you very much," because I've worked with them and they've given me yarn support before, so it's kind of like it's an already established relationship. So they trust me to hopefully come up with something good, a nice crochet design out of their yarn. And so I've come up with the Anthem at. It's called Anthem. I can't remember the best. Let's try. There's a certain angle of wearing this hat where all the colours are on show. And it's like, if I just wear it up in a silly way, but you can see, don't know if you can see, hopefully. So we have a puff stitch hat with irregular sections of puff stitch colours, and they all kind of like meet in various ways. Oh goodness, unflattering or what? I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that about my own hat design, so should I? It's the hair, not the hat. So this one's got a bit of slouch on it, okay? You wear it so it's a bit of slouch like this one. There you go. If I just sit here and have my cup of tea while you look. I'll watch this back and I'll probably then see. I know you didn't get a glimpse of any of it. I don't know if you can see. I've just noticed that you can see this dude. So it's out with testers at the minute, so I should be able to release it quite soon. So that I made a medium. This is Devonia, comes in a 4-ply and a double knit. This is the double knit version because I didn't feel like I could handle a 4-ply at the moment. And so yeah, I did double knit. I was sent another colour called Pebblebrook, but actually it was too close to this Wood Smoke Grey, which is a beautiful grey colour. Actually, as it stands, I think I would probably, this is the Sage Green, I would probably swap that out for one of the blues so it stood out more. It is not, it's not probably not contrasty enough for my desires, and I wish that I had chosen a blue just to swap out, but it's just enough, you can get away with it. But if you were to get one of the blues, I think that probably maybe the deeper of the two blues. I think there's two blues in the Devonia range, but it's lovely yarn, really nice and woolly and warm. And I went and took photographs on Aylesbury Common, which is up the road. So I took some photographs for the pattern, so it all looks kind of nice and autumnal. But because I had some left over from the minis and a bit of the main colour there, I had 100 grams of the Wood Smoke and then a handful of minis, which are 25 grams each. And so I made a plain hat using a very similar start. Well, the starting is exactly the same, but then I just went plain. So it looks like this. So yeah, so I really like this one actually. I like a fitted hat, it turns out. I didn't know that. To be honest with you, I like hats. I like wearing hats. The only time I don't like wearing hats is when I've got a ponytail, and I'm not wearing one of those hats with a hole in the middle so your ponytail can poke out or your bum or something. I'm sorry, that's just not me. So if I'm wearing a hat, my hair has to be down. Yeah. So they're both going to be in the pattern. So you could make a plain or a puff stitch one, which is, I think, looks better slouchy. It's just got that look about it. And this one you could easily add more rows, and this one could become slouchy as well. But there's 3 sizes. Maybe I should talk about it next time when it's actually out. But the testing is going well so far. People are pointing out all sorts of silly errors that I've made. You know, you send out a pattern and you think, yeah, I think I've got it, and then you just don't notice the most fundamental bits required of a hat. So the one I'm working on with that sock yarn, this one is essentially like an adaptation of that. But talking of hats, ones that still haven't had their ends sewn in or been blocked, and I think I would like to block this because I think it needs relaxing. I made for Stashtober. I hope you took part in Stashtober. Did I mention it in the last episode? Stashtober. Bloody hope so. Oh. Another one I'm not sure how to wear, but actually once you get it right, it looks okay. But this is the Tam hat. This is the Tam Positivity Spiral. I really enjoyed making this actually. It's a really nice make. The only thing is that I did a different rib because there was no way I could bring myself to do slip stitch ribbing. I did about 1 inch and was just like, no, not doing that. I'm going to do a half treble rib instead, thanks. And then just sort of added enough stitches to make the size 2 for the Tam hat. Because the other thing as well is that the Tam is for actually a sport weight, and I decided to use a 4-ply because obviously I do make life difficult for myself. So I used, this is from Edinburgh Yarn Festival, an Edinburgh Yarn Festival purchase from a few years ago. It is a beaten up label, Ripples Crafts, and the colourway is Crushed Blueberry, probably also Windberry, and all the other colloquial names for a blueberry. It's Blueface, yes, Blue-Faced Leicester, 100 grams, 400 metres, and I've got a fair old wad left as well. So, but this was my stash. I've had it in my cupboard for 3 or 4 years. I think it was going to be part of a shawl, but I just never got around to it. I'm not sure if I'm wearing it right. I don't want to. You could wear it anyway, any way you wanted if you thought like. But I do think it needs probably, I don't know whether just to wash it and then prop it on a pumpkin and leave it to dry or something. But great pattern, and it's from Faye Dashba Hughes, the Crochet Circle podcast, and it's Positivity Town, which I believe you can buy, but I got the pattern for free because of the Kickstarter for More It. I did the level where you got a pattern for free and a cute More It pin. So do you know what? I can hear myself talking and I think, Jesus, woman, you are going off on one. You're not making any sense. So I do apologise if I'm literally jumping from one topic to the next without any kind of cohesive flow. But again, I don't think that's surprising. It's been a while. Oh gosh, it's hot. I suppose I should mention as well, just in case you're wondering, that this is the Colourpop Sweater by My Square Hat. It is now the time of year to get it out and start wearing it. My mum said it was a very nice jumper, so I was just like, really? Oh, thanks. She's a hard woman to please. Let's talk about the Wheatfields shawl, because I think I was working on that last time. This is now released. It's out, and you have got about whatever the second Sunday is in November. That's the last day of the 25% discount on Ravelry and Etsy for the Wheatfields shawl. So this is out and done. Oh my gosh, it feels so nice. I cannot wait until the weather is cold enough to wear this, because it's proper Ice Queen wear, isn't it? It looks amazing. Sorry. I always feel like I shouldn't say cool things about my own designs, but I'm like, this is cool. It feels so nice. It's 4-ply, a hand-dyed 4-ply alongside a lace weight mohair, kid silk mohair. I called it Wheatfields in the end, not Fields of Wheat, not Brocken. So it's Wheatfields because of these Roselle puff stitch ears of wheat that are all coming in at different heights for interest and funsies. It has been tested by a few people and all of their shawls look stunning. Really pleased, and actually I don't think there was too many errors with this one, and I was really worried that people I did film a tutorial for it, but I haven't actually edited it together because I wanted to see if the written pattern worked on its own, and I think it does. Apparently it does. From the feedback from the testers, it's all right and makes sense, which is always good. But I do have that filmed tutorial saved. I just would need to put it together if necessary. I might get around to it. But the pattern is full price, £6, because it also comes with wrist warmers too. But at the moment there's 25% off until whatever, it's the 13th, 14th, something like that of November. I don't know when the Sunday is, but so it comes with a pattern for wrist warmers as well. Which, do you know what? I'm really pleased. I've only got one, and that's because I've run out of the mohair. There's plenty in it, in 2 skeins of the 4-ply hand dyed. There's plenty to make the shawl and a pair of wrist warmers. The shawl took 4 balls of mohair, and that made the shawl and 1 mitten, 1 wrist warmer. So if you wanted to make 2 wrist warmers, then you'd need to buy a 5th ball of mohair. And those mohair balls that I recommend using in the pattern are 25 grams, which is pretty standard for the lace weight mohair silk. There's only 1 size in the wrist warmers though, but I felt that that was okay, because like if you wanted to make them bigger, you just add on an extra, you just work an extra plain row before you join, or an extra 2 or whatever, and then well, my wrists are quite small, unless you wanted extra small, where you could probably just have you know, take a row out in between the puff rows, I guess, to make it a bit smaller. But yeah, they come with wrist warmers. But I'm really pleased, so pleased in fact, that I am tempted to buy another ball of the mohair just to get the 2nd wrist warmer done. I don't have any other. No, I haven't got any. It's nice, isn't it? Can't believe it. It's 5 to 10 already. That's ridiculous. Ooh. Just thought I'd show you a little bit of it so you can see. But do check out the Ravelry page, because a couple of the testers have already put their projects there. And again, just a reminder, if anybody has made my projects before, then please do add them to your projects page on Ravelry if you are a Ravelry user. I think you can do the same on Lovecrafts as well. I need to put Wheatfields on Lovecrafts, actually. I haven't done it yet. But you can put your projects on Lovecrafts too, if you use that instead. Right. Whew, crikes. Over on Patreon, we're doing a Secret Santa. I need to collate the people's names that have decided, that have chosen to join in, or want to join in for Secret Santa. So if you want to join us on Patreon, you're more than welcome. There's 3 different tiers. Everybody is welcome to do the Secret Santa. And I'm opening up Saturday's Zoom chat to everybody as well. So if you're a patron already and haven't seen your messages, go and have a look at that. But if you'd like to join us, I'll leave a link below. The middle tier is a good one if you regularly like my patterns, because the middle tier and the top tier both get my patterns for free when I release them. I try to do a free pattern every month. Sometimes it's one that's been featured in a magazine, but reformatted into my template. And then sometimes it would be an exclusive one, brand new, but they get it for free. So actually sometimes it might work out cheaper to be a patron. Hang on a second. Hello. It's you again. So yeah, sorry. I don't want to talk about it too much, because some people might roll their eyes. But if you regularly are into using my patterns and whatnot, then it might be an option. One that works out cheaper, and you get some additional content too sometimes when I get around to doing it. But talking of Patreon, I have a fantastic supporter in Amanda. She's brilliant. I love her. She's honest, open, helpful, supportive, and just brilliant, and really just so knowledgeable as well about crochet and stuff like that. And it's a joy to know Amanda, especially because she's posted me some yarn. I got this in the post the other day. Isn't it fantastic? Beautiful. Just be careful because Cinnamon is new and he won't want you to do... Not Wheatfields either, thank you. Oh, can I have my hat back? Is that alright? Thanks. This is Cinnamon. Somebody's now into red pandas, not boring old pandas. I'll look after Cinnamon, thank you. Yeah, so this is Melbourne City Dye Works. So Australian yarn all the way from Australia, and it's it feels like a really nice one. It's probably yeah, it's right up there with like good stuff. 100% Australian made and owned. So it's a 4-ply, and so I've got 100 grams here and a 20 gram mini. Presumably I could knit myself some socks with it. I'm not going to. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I will do something with it, certainly. Pop art sock set. Thank you very much, Amanda, because it's cool as, and I loves it. It's one of the ones where you just, every now and again, you just look at it to go, that's nice. And also, I got the Crochet Cipher. See, Amanda introduced me to this, which I think is fabulous. So if you look up the Crochet Cipher, then it's somebody in Australia who has invented stencils. How amazing is that? Now, I think this is a really clever idea. A really clever idea. Amanda has sent me 2, one for myself, because I asked her to send me one. I didn't ask for the yarn. That was an additional surprise. I just wanted one of these. But I've got an additional one which I might do a giveaway, or if depending on who I get for Secret Santa, they might get this in their parcel. I haven't decided yet, so it depends on what I do for Secret Santa. But yeah, we all decided to do a Secret Santa on Patreon, right? And we're not allowed to spend any money. The only money we spend is postage. So it has to be either like nice skeins from Stash that maybe you're not going to use, handmade items, and anything you might have that somebody else would appreciate and enjoy. But I didn't want people to go out and spend loads of money on yarn and send it all over the world and stuff like that, because it could get a bit over the top. So yeah. What are you going to do? Thanks, mate. Oh my god. You're not allowed to see that. Whoops. Oh man. Thanks, Marceline. You may or may not have caught a glimpse of something secret then. I might have to edit it out. I said it right then. I think there's a difficulty with not edit, but edit it. So updates on jumpers and things like that. Oh my goodness. I may bin off this one because I haven't got very far. And actually, well, I don't know. What do you think? I think I'm afraid that it just takes too long. I mean, I started this months ago and I've got, this is like the beginning of a V for a V-neck jumper. But I don't know, it's just taking too long. I'm a bit worried it's going to be too long in the body as well. Maybe I've overestimated, but I'm so used to making crop things right now that actually maybe not. But I'm wondering now whether or not I should actually be holding it double. Not because I have to, but because I think it might look better. So do I go back to the drawing board, or do I just get on with it? But bearing in mind it's taken me that long. It looks quite nice though, held up like that. I may or may not continue with that. I think I just need to think about it for a while. But I took that on the train with me to London, thinking that I was gonna work on it. But then I also took with me the Get Your Fluff On from Knitcraft, because I went in and bought 9 balls of it to make a cardigan. And I did that so I could tell people on Instagram as part of a paid PR thing. And then it kind of overtook everything else I wanted to do. So I took that with me on the train instead. And I didn't actually get very far because actually for the first bit of the train journey, I was doing maths. And then, but eventually I did get started on that. So I've got that far. Maybe by the spring I'll have a cardigan. I don't know. What do you think? So I'm not very far in at the moment, am I? Holding it up, it looks a bit, I'm not sure. Wow, it's hard to judge on just a tiny little thing like that, isn't it? So that's an alpaca floof, because you know I said I wanted to sort of play around with different fluffs, different mohairs and stuff like that. It's a blend of alpaca and something. Acrylic 44, polyamide 26, 15% merino, 15% alpaca. It's not a bad combo, I guess. But I have made no progress on these jumpers because basically I am thinking that the grading is going to be a nightmare of that neckline and stuff. So it's basically going in the cupboard because I'm frightened. I'm frightened of it. So I might put it in the cupboard for a bit before I get braver. Work on a few more simple garments. Get confident. Then I can tackle that. Otherwise I'm just jumping straight in at the deep end and I will probably drown and flounder. So it's a not yet for that one. And instead I moved on to this one. So you know that I was making an Aran Weight Christmas jumper. Got all excited and went full steam ahead, even though I knew it was going to be too big, but I was in denial. I ordered some new yarn, and I've made panels that I'm happy with. They are gonna fit. So my new Christmas jumper looks like this so far, and actually probably going to be too small now. No, it's fine. It won't be. It'll be fine. Panel 1 done. Panel 2. And yeah, I started on it. I've done it. I think, have I done a sleeve? Done a sleeve? This is all car crochet essentially, and then I've done most of the waistband as well. But I'm a bit far behind on that, so I've got a sleeve to make 2 cuffs and finish off that. I think the sleeves are going to be okay. But do you know what? I might make the cuffs quite deep because I've got a feeling that actually that's going to finish about here. So I'm going to have a deep cuff on that. But I'm not opposed to that. But the reason I went short on the sleeves is because I thought I was going to run out. And I did. So I've ordered 2 more balls to make another sleeve. But my goodness, do you know what that comes to? 10 balls. 10 balls of yarn. I've never made a sweater that's taken that much yarn before. The last Aran weight jumper I made was only 7 balls and it had a cowl neck. Maybe it's the C2C, maybe the C2C stitch is a yarn eater. I didn't think it would be any more greedy than a normal stitch. But whatever. So they're on order, hopefully they'll arrive soon. But to be honest with you, I've got to work on a commission first. So maybe it's a good thing, because otherwise I probably would have worked on that and like pushed my commission right up to the deadline and caused a bit of bother for myself. Okay, I think that's it. I'm just going to check. I'll save, there's some other bits, but I'll save those for another day. I hope you're well and stuff. Let me know what you're working on. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And so basically, yes, feel free to leave a comment, a nice one. I'm aware of my faults, so don't point those out. And yeah, I'll see you next time, whenever that may be. I have no idea. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're all right. And I will see you again next time. Cheerio, bye-bye.